Welcome back to Conversations with Archbishop Kurtz, and as Brian told us in the first segment, here we are at the beautiful St. Joseph's Proto-Cathedral and Basilica, and what a blessing, we have our pastor here. Father Bill Hammer, welcome and thank you for being part of this segment.
And I would say welcome to you to come out to Bardstown, and you know this is your parish as well, and you've always got a home here.
Well, great. Let me tell the people a little bit about you. Ordained in 1980. Yes. You told me before we started, you reminded me that you actually hail from from Holy Trinity Parish,
yes.
in Louisville. And so 35 years a priest, congratulations on that, and a priest who has served so beautifully. Father Bill, many people remember you for so many things. Obviously, you were pastor of St. Gabriel's, which continues to be, I think, our largest parish in the Archdiocese. Director for interfaith and interreligious and ecumenical concerns. Yes. You've worked with continuing education.
For the clergy,
and now we were just talking, you've begun now your 11th year
as pastor
here.
Yes.
So I'm so glad.
And also St. Michael's in Fairfield too.
Mea culpa,
because remember my Fairfield
you're
people.
Absolutely right. And St. Michael's, of course, is an equally beautiful church and has that great history. Tell us a little bit about just the history and the background of the church in which we find ourselves this morning.
Well, this is an exciting time in the life of the parish, and particularly of this physical building. Next year, in July of 2016, will be the 200th anniversary of our cornerstone. Oh. So we've been here a long time.
And really, the fact that this was the original cathedral, that gets back into the history of
the diocese
the church
as well,
in the United States too,
yes, also. So the parish here has been now about 200 years old. Okay. Our roots go very deep, obviously, in this Kentucky Holy Land out here, as we love to speak of ourselves and the blessings we have here. So the parish community is still a very vibrant one. We have a grade school, and we have Bethlehem High School across the street from us. So it's a young, active, and growing parish. But the history behind this particular building is a phenomenal one. The record's very clear that this was community-wide support when Bishop Flagey tried to establish...
Our first bishop.
Yes, our first bishop, Bishop Flagey, tried to establish the cathedral parish, and he relied on support from both the Catholic and Protestant families here in town. So even 200 years ago, we were a very ecumenical community out here in Bardstown, and can remain to this day. Our parish is very active in the larger Bardstown, Nelson County community. A lot of the leaders are members of our parish community here as well.
You know, I think back to what it must have looked like when the church was first built. As you know, the Abbey of Gethsemane is just down the road, and coming back from the Abbey into Bardstown, you see the wonderful presence of the steeple and the basilica, and I think, gee, when the houses were so small 200 years ago, it must have looked even larger.
A magnificent building, yes. Well, they talk about it as a beautiful building in its time on its own, but still remains very much so today. And it's a little different style for church architecture from that time, the kind of the colonial style. Yeah. But as you're approaching us from our front, it is a magnificent view.
It really is.
And to think of people, maybe coming in from literally the wilderness and coming up that hill in those days, it was like a beacon.
Well, it's a great history, and I know people who are viewing might say, well, can I come to the church? I'd say, by all means, do that, and there's tours, there's opportunities to see the richness itself. Before we talk about the parish itself, tell us a little bit, first of all, you alluded to your commitment and the commitment of the parish to the area of Bardstown, to the community and the surrounding area in Nelson County. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, we do try to be very involved in all the things that are going on in the community. We have a very active ministerial association, which I'm delighted and feel a lot of support from the other pastors in the community, from the local Baptist, Methodist, Christian churches who are here, the Episcopal Church. And one of the things that we do, just one quick example, is Thanksgiving Day itself. We have a meal here for all the homebound and elderly in the Nelson County area. We're just the site of it, but we have a leadership role in it. But we will feed over 500 people on Thanksgiving Day itself.
What a beautiful. And again, the whole community comes together to be part of that.
Yes.
Yeah. And also, obviously, we alluded to the fact, we didn't give the date, I think it was in 1841 that the see, which was the See of Bardstown, became the See of Louisville.
Right.
But the Proto-Cathedral still has a very important role in the life of the whole archdiocese.
Oh, absolutely.
Say a little bit about that.
Well, as the very title, Proto-Cathedral, maybe I get a question, like, where's that come from? Well, its root is proto, as the Greek origin, like first, like a prototype. It's the first time you build a manufacturing something, you make a prototype. Well, this is the original cathedral parish. And as it was clear in the late 1830s, by early 1840s, Louisville was growing and Bardstown was not growing at that rate. So that's when Bishop Flagey petitioned Rome to have the see transferred. And we then came up with the title, an honorific, of being the Proto-Cathedral, the original one. And then in 2002, my predecessor at that time, Father Bill Medley, now Bishop Medley of Owensboro Diocese, made the petition to have this named the Basilica Parish.
Okay.
And so
you have we have that great gift of both a cathedral in Louisville, but a proto-cathedral, and as you said, basilica here.
As well.
I want to hear, though, people are going to hear, anxious to hear about just the life of the parish now. You started to mention that. We only have a few minutes, but give us a little bit about what's going on here at St. Joseph.
Well, one of the things, being physically an older building, there's a lot of renovation work going on right now. We've had to do a lot of repair work on our pillars outside the church. We've been working on that, all trying to get ready for our bicentennial celebrations. But our elementary school, the first day of school was August 4th.
Okay.
So we've been in school now for a while already. We're on a modified year-round schedule, so that's one of the big things involving our parish life is obviously the school children.
And I know it's a big school, and I know it's been renovated, and it's a beautiful school
as well to it,
helping so many people.
Yes.
The parish itself is so very important. You also have a great role with our priest council.
Oh.
You've been serving as the
blessed,
chair, and
yes.
I know you were actually the chair of the priest council when you served with Archbishop Kelly back in the 90s.
90s, correct, yes.
Many people maybe are not aware of that important role of the priest council as being a primary consultative body for the bishop. And boy, do I appreciate those. Give people a little bit, we only have a minute, but give people a little bit of an insight.
Well, one of the analogies I like to use is I think the priest council functions hopefully much like a parish council functions for a pastor. It's a cross-section representative of the parish and the parish council giving advice and counsel to the pastor. Well, I believe we hopefully function as a cross-section of the priest of the diocese, and we can give you advice and counsel. And I always challenge my parish council members to make sure that your opinion's heard, because I need to know what the parish in general is thinking. And so if the parish council is doing their job, then I'm always better prepared to serve in the community. And so we try to do our job of advising you. So that's one aspect of it. But the other part is it's a nice opportunity for the priests, the diocese, through the regional process to meet in smaller groups, raise concerns to you as well as to receive.
It's been a great thing. At the end of August, of course, we had that gathering we have every year in which we have the overnight in which we set the agenda, so to speak, for throughout the year. So what a great gift that has been. It's a consultative body that really from the closing of the Second Vatican Council was renewed within the church. Yes. And I have to say, I'm here 8 years as the Archbishop. One of the best joys that I can say has been interaction with our priest council. It really has been good, and you run a good meeting. So thank you so very much.
Again, herd the cats and keep everybody on task at the time. But
Father Bill, we covered in a short period of time. We talked about the Proto-Cathedral Basilica. We talked about how vibrant your parish is, your leadership with the priest council. A big thank you to you.
Well, we
really appreciate it.
It's an honor to work as well closely with the community here and with you, of course.
Good,
yes,
good. Thanks, Father Bill.
You're welcome.
And thank you all for joining us for this segment of Conversations with Archbishop Kurtz. Please stay with us as we return for the third segment.